More than 2 weeks ago in Libya, GlobalPost journalist James Foley was arrested, along with 2 other journalists, including American Claire Gillis. His family still has not heard from him and is desperate for answers. Joining us now from Boston are John's parents, John Sr. and Diane Foley. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
As we pointed out, you have not spoken to your son, but I know you've spoken to the family of Claire Gillis. What have they told you about how your son is doing?
Claire is really the best source of our information. And she said when she last saw Jim on Tuesday of this week, he was in good condition. They were separated on Tuesday.
They were separated on Tuesday. Mr. Foley, what was your son doing the day he was arrested?
Well, our best understanding is that he and the 3 other journalists were driving from Benghazi to Brega to get closer to the active fighting that was going on in that city. Along the way, they were caught in a crossfire that was intended to stop the car. They got out to take cover and were abducted at that point.
Mr. Foley, is there any evidence that your son was specifically targeted?
I don't think so, no.
I got you. This has been a tough week for journalists in Libya. Tim Hetherington, the filmmaker, and Chris Hondros, the photographer, were killed. Tell us about your son.
It's very dangerous work.
Very dangerous. Tell us about your son and why does he think it's important that he's there?
Well, Jim is a very passionate young man. He really wants to get the news of conflicts to the United States audience, really, so that we can better understand what's occurring in these countries.
He has been a war correspondent for 4 years. Let me ask both of you, when he first told you he wanted to do this, what went through your head?
Well, he graduated from Medill in 2007, and at that point, decided that he wanted to be a war correspondent. And he actually didn't tell us until he told us that he was going to Iraq with the Indiana National Guard. At that point, we wished him well, and he was very happy to begin his career in that regard.
The State Department has been working on your son. Are you confident they're doing everything they possibly can to free him?
It's a very, demanding world here for the State Department. But yes, certainly the State Department, the Turkish Embassy, GlobalPost, media, you folks have all been helping us to get the word out, but we're terribly concerned that Jim and Claire are still imprisoned in Libya in the midst of the terrible conflict going on there.
And we haven't had any phone call nor any independent assessment or evaluation of Jim and or Claire.
I understand. What gets you through these days? What's next for you as a family?
Our faith in God and our amazing friends and family. Jim's friends have put up a website called freefoley.org, which has a petition that people can sign to advocate for their release. It's really our good people and our faith that are helping us through all this.
Mr. and Mrs. Foley, thank you so much for joining us today. The best of luck to you. We'll be thinking about you.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
You take care.